What's up, friends? Welcome back to Plant Space. I'm your host, Ramon Garcia, and today we're gonna talk about failing, fucking up, not doing good, bankruptcy. No, not bankruptcy. I can't really help you with that. But we are gonna talk about failing and why people are so scared about it and why you shouldn't be scared about it. It's actually a good thing. It's a step in the right direction. Unless it's bankruptcy or something insane, you really fucked up. It's fine. You're fine. It'll all be fine. No one's gonna remember. No one's gonna care. Life will go on, and that doesn't mean that you're a failure for the rest of your life. You just failed. It's fine. That's a part of the process. I have failed. I couldn't even tell you how many times. I can tell you how many times I've won big though. I definitely can. I've won enough times to place on these fingers, which is a blessing. I'm grateful. I'm very proud of those accomplishments. But if I held a finger up for every time that I have failed, I would have like a crowd of hundreds in here just shoving their hands in the screen. I've failed a lot. That's fine. Today, we're going to be diving into how failure can help you, how it helps guide you towards the right direction. It teaches you and gives you the tools that'll help you be successful. It's not a bad thing. We often see failure as a roadblock, but what if we saw it as feedback instead? What if every time that we have failed or not done well at something, what if we took the time to analyze what went wrong? What could we have done better? What did we do wrong? Where could we have prepared better at? In what ways did we prepare for something that wasn't even relevant? I don't know about you, but sometimes I've hyper fixated myself onto something, and then once I'm in the room, that thing didn't even matter. I'm over here stressing out, learning this language, and then we get there and they're like, okay, I want to hear it in English. And it's like, what the fuck? I didn't learn it in English. I learned it in Italian because the song's in Italian. I've never done that. I'm just saying, like, that's just the example that came to my brain. Some science behind it because we have some data today. I guess there's like facts that whenever you do something, we all learned it in school. Whenever your brain learns something, there are fibers or tissues or neurons or whatever the word may be forming. It's this actual thing that is happening in your brain. The dots are connecting. So the failure does scientifically prove that you are learning. You're not just staying in the same spot. Unless you're like not learning, then that's something for you to reflect on. But it's in your hands. If you feel like you're not learning, then take a step back. Don't try anything. Just look and be like, okay, what am I missing? Ask for opinions. Ask someone to be like, girl, what the fuck am I missing? Am I dumb? And honestly, a lot of people are really honest. They're going to be like, well, girl, you're not bright. And I'm just kidding. But a lot of people are really honest. Ask a real friend and they should give you some sort of an opinion. Girl, ask me. I got you. Send me a DM and just be like, this is what's going on. What do you think? And I'll send you a voice message back and be like, girl, for real, I promise you, I will. I actually really enjoy those conversations. Let's talk about a few myths about failing. Failing means I'm not good enough. Absolutely fucking not. Failing just means that you failed, girl. It doesn't always get deeper than that. Sometimes you just failed. Sorry, you're not tall enough. You didn't make the cut. It just is what it is. Life goes on. In school, they really stressed, what if I predetermined that this is the cast that I want? And I already set up the costume designers and they're already working and getting it out. My lead is going to be a 5'6", blonde, whatever, thin, whatever, soprano. Bet. You're amazing. You're so talented. You're blonde, you're a soprano, you're thin, but you're 5'11". And I'm not redoing the costume. It's already in production. I'm not repaying for it. This bitch is 5'8" and she's just as good. Sorry, you didn't get the part. And you're sitting at home stressed and crying like, no, I'm not good enough. It was never about being good enough. They already bought the shoes and your feet are too big. Period. That's it. What are you going to do? Get a foot reduction surgery? No. You just have to take the loss and move on. People who are super successful don't fail. Elon Musk is literally the richest man on this world. And in 2007, I'm pretty sure I had more money than him at one point. That man was going bankrupt. He was hanging on by a thread, allegedly. I mean, everyone says it. I'm pretty sure it's true. I've read it everywhere and anywhere. And now he's the richest man in the world. So, try again. Failure is the end of the road. It is rarely the end of the road. Unless you're incarcerated for life, yeah, it's rarely the end of the world. Like, there are aspects of fail. There are categories in which you can fail that could potentially be the end of the world. For example, if you're living a really poor lifestyle of eating shit food for years and years and years, and then you get a sickness and pass away, I mean, yeah, that failure got you to the end of the road, but also, like, you could have prevented that a lot, you know? But other than that, that's, like, literally the one and only thing I can think of. I could share a lot of different stories as to when I failed. I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with social media. I'm not necessarily always succeeding. A lot of things tend to flop. My podcast itself doesn't have a lot of listeners, but it is what it is. I'm still going to put effort into it. I'm still going to keep trying. Eventually, I will succeed. I don't consider it failing, but I mean, if someone was to say it's not succeeding, they not lying. But that's okay. You know, like I said, failure is not the end of the road. It keeps going. The road, I'm thinking of Agatha. The road is long. The road is treacherous. You're not going to die just because you failed. Just try again and again and again and again and again and again and again, because the one win will trump all the losses. That's usually how it is. All of the wins that I've had, I am like so proud of them. I really do hold them near and dear because those are my accomplishments and I worked really hard to get them and I did them, and it makes all of my failures okay. Turning your failure into fuel. First thing you have to do, acknowledge the emotion. Failing sucks. I have cried so many times. To this day, I still cry, but I don't stop myself because I'm allowed to feel that way. I'm not letting it stop me, but I feel it. I'm gonna feel it. Acknowledge the emotions, because if you just ignore them, it's gonna come back, and by the time it actually is felt, it's gonna be intense. So feel it out. Analyze what went wrong. It sucks to fail, but also what happened. If you have the data to analyze what went wrong, girl, use the data. You don't always have that privilege. Sometimes you are just gonna have to accept it and move on with life. It is what it is. You're not getting any data. You can't analyze what went wrong. You will never know. Oh well, it is literally what it is. But the times that you do have the privilege of getting the data and being able to see, all right, what the hell did I do? What didn't I do? Use it, abuse it, schedule yourself forward with that knowledge. Don't just glance at it and forget. Really digest it and take it with a grain of salt. Sometimes, you know, things are personal. Maybe that you're at a gymnastics competition and they're being overtly critical because they're racist. I'm not saying this happens. I mean, I'm sure it happens, but look at the situation. Be like, girl, I know damn well they are not better than me and they scored better than me. There's no people of color. The panel's all palm colored. I call racism. Not everything has to be I mean, that's kind of a stretch. Oh well, I'm just trying to think of an example. Don't go calling people out for being racist, but I'm just saying, like, if you feel like something's off, just pay attention to it. Analyze the situation. What's going on? What's tea? You know, don't be naive. Maybe they don't like women. Girl, you never know. Maybe they don't like men. Adjust your approach. Adjust it. I'm constantly making adjustments to how I try different things. This week, I'm doing things this way. Next week, I'm doing things that way. This day, I'm doing things this way, etc., etc., etc. I'm constantly learning things about myself at my grown age. I promise you can continue to learn about yourself. I don't ever see myself not learning things about myself. So I'm assuming you're the same way. Keep trying things. Adjust your approach. Don't do the same thing. Just keep going. Don't be a quitter. That's the biggest thing that I've learned from watching my friends vicariously. I'm not saying they're all quitters, but there are a lot of people that quit. There's a lot of people that had a dream. There is a lot of people that had huge goals and they aren't doing it anymore. There are a lot of obstacles that get in the way. Family members getting sick, you getting sick. Anything is possible, anything can happen. And if you are ever in a situation where your dreams and your goals are no longer possible because of that obstacle, that's not your fault. I'm not the person to have that conversation, but everything that we just talked about doesn't apply to you. It's really unempathetic to preach these things without having an understanding that it's a privilege to be able to try. It's a privilege to have the space and the opportunity to make these efforts. Some people are hyper focused on their survival that they don't get to take time to have a dream. We do. I just had to point that out because those people do exist, and I hate making people feel bad or less than. If you're watching this and you're like, fuck, like, I don't know, maybe you're a single mom that just had a kid and you have no support. It might not be that easy. I don't, I can't say all of this applies to you. I'm sure anything is possible. I'm sure there's a single mom that just had a kid that's doing it out there that can say otherwise. That's literally just an example. But yeah, this only applies if it applies. If it doesn't apply, please don't go hating yourself. With that being said, this is the end of the episode. It was a rather short one. This is Plant Space, a space where we're constantly planting the seed of new growth. So thank you for checking in and thank you for watching it today. As always, I invite you to have a conversation in the comments. Check me out on all platforms at the Ramon Garcia and let me know if there's ever something you want me to talk about or if there's anything really. Send me a DM, send me a message. I am active on all platforms. I see everything. It might take me a second to see my DMs, but I will eventually see my DMs. Yeah. Have a good day, you guys. I'll see you guys in next episode. Bye.